Hey everybody, Anish here, career coach to the fiercely ambitious, talking to you today from beautiful Balboa Island in California. And you'll notice the shirt, you'll notice the vacation vibe. And we're talking today about a couple of signs that everyone needs to know. Signs that, a layoff may be in the cards for you. And I want to take a very different approach to this, okay? Because this is not a doom and gloom thing. And if you don't own the mental game of this, everything else that I have to tell you is going to fall on deaf ears. You must, let me repeat, you must be able to correctly look at this situation. So let me start here, okay? In my own life, right? I was an actor, then a journalist, then an author before becoming a career coach. I've lived many lives, and I've coached many other people through this journey. Not a single one, or shall I say, less than 5 people have ever gained that next new level in their life, in their career, from a place of comfort and security. It has always come from a layoff, from a boss who didn't get them, from some of the signals that we're going to talk about, and some of the countermeasures that I'm going to give you. So you must look at this from that place. Here's some examples, okay? And you might be saying, yeah, it's great, Anish. I know how positive it is for me to lose your job. Great. Bear with me for a second, okay? When was the last time that someone's first impression of you was based on your accurate market worth today? Today, in this moment that you're watching it. And by the way, the fact that you're watching this should tell you something very profound about where you need to be, you know, in terms of how seriously you need to take this situation, okay? When was the last time that someone saw you there? Not the way you were 5 years ago or 3 years ago or even 2 years ago, let alone 10 years ago or 12 years ago. When was that? That's opportunity. When was the last time you negotiated an offer based on your value and your impact of what you can do today? Not where you were 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 7 years ago. All of these people, all of these amazing houses, these homes around me here, okay? Every single one of these people found their own pathway. And it usually started by looking at a situation that most people considered to be, oh my gosh, crazy, not possible. And they said, you know what? This might just be a crazy opportunity in disguise. This might just be the moment I can radically, not linearly, but radically reinvent where I am, okay? So I really want you thinking about that, okay? I want you thinking about everything I'm about to tell you through that lens of, hey, I was complaining and I was saying this didn't work. This is a sign from life. This is a sign from God and destiny that this is the moment that I need to take serious action around it, okay? So let's go through some of this, okay? And by the way, for those of you who are long-term, understand you're giving up 7 to 8% of earning power every additional year past year one that you have spent at a certain employer. So understand there's a massive amount of upside here that you can negotiate just by doing this once correctly right now, okay? So greater micromanagement, okay? Easily, one of the biggest issues that I see people ignore. If you are doing amazingly at your job, you are doing great work, consistent, you have a track record, the trend should be less micromanagement. The trend should be actually less management, more agency, more room for you to grow and deliver that astronomical value that you've been delivering. If you're not seeing that, that's a massive red flag, okay? And another one that's kind of related to it in some ways, okay, is that your job is getting harder and you don't understand why. In other words, the goalposts of what you need to accomplish and how you need to accomplish it are moving, or they're changing without you even being aware where they are right now. These are 2 massive red flags that you absolutely cannot ignore. And what is the solve? And I'm just looking at all my notes here because I want to deliver massive value to you guys. I would say for both of those things, greater micromanagement without any reason, like greater reporting, greater this, greater jumping through hoops, greater inability for you to do the more strategic elements of your job, as well as this job getting harder. Like the things that you used to be vetted for, it's not making much of an impact. And you don't know why, but you're being criticized and your performance is being evaluated. And by the way, guys, we're talking about subtle signs that you might be getting laid off. If you're on a performance improvement plan, please, you are in job search mode. If you're in a zone where your boss has told you there's not much of a future past year one, you are in job search mode, okay? We're talking about less obvious ones. These are the 2 biggest ones that I would see. So I would say reestablish priority 1. Get verbal acknowledgement from your boss, from the person you are most accountable to at this company, about what are, and it's not rocket science, what are the 1 to 3 major must-wins What are the things that you and your team absolutely have to get right to consider this year a success? And if your boss, if your superior is not being upfront about that, dude, you're already fired. All right, just consider every day past this conversation as bonus job search paid time that you have, because you're out. If they're not willing to commit to those, it's because they've already committed towards firing you. Let's be clear about that. Okay, so what are some other ones? Okay, number 3, unexpected emotional landmines with your boss. Okay, I cannot stress enough how absolutely critical and important it is that if the conversations with your boss, with the person that you are most accountable to, okay, if it suddenly changes and you don't understand why, you don't understand where that's coming from or why that's happening, okay, this is such a tremendous red flag, okay? Listen, I run a company now, and I can tell you that communication with the people that I work with is priority number 1. If I stop doing that, usually it's because my mind is like racing, and oftentimes I'm leaving reality behind and I'm trying to force some kind of a decision or look at things in a different way. It is essential, if you are serious about your future at any company, okay, that you maintain that conversation, you maintain that communication. What would I do, okay, if I'm like, where do I stand with this person? I thought it was so clear, okay? I would say, we're gonna let this service truck pass here. It's very busy on this island, I gotta tell you. Rehumanize and underline service. That's what I would do, okay? With my boss, okay? It's time for me to paint that picture again. Remember, I'm a father as well. Remember, I have a human life. Remember, I've made a sacrifice as well. Remember, I'm interested in your journey. How can I help? What can I do? And I wanna re-emphasize that right now, my conversation with you, okay, in this difficult time, in this challenging time, okay, because I promise you he or she is looking at it that way. My goal is not to monetize. My goal is not to hit you up for a raise or do anything like that. I just want to see, how can I reaffirm the fact that I'm a true blue player here? I see you for who you are, and I'm here to help no matter what, okay? If you can do that, that is a massive, massive leg up, okay? So unexpected emotional landmines with boss, major, major potential red flag. Number 4, any kind of a merger, any kind of a major company shift, forget about the BS that they tell you. Your job is definitely at risk. I don't care what they tell you or what level you're at, your job is at risk, okay? You've got to treat that as a career shifting event no matter what. You've got to be prepared. I cannot stress that enough, okay? Mergers, that old M&A and job search basically goes hand in hand in my line of work. So I'm just being honest with you there, okay? And then the last one I got to tell you is if they've hired someone who has a very, very similar skill set to you and is higher, this is something that you absolutely have got to look into. And what I would say is get verbal buy-in on what is the long-term trajectory of you, your team. Okay, if they're unable, just like, you know, what we talked about earlier, if they're unable to tell you or deal squarely with you there, that is a clear screaming sign you and your team can get out. I have worked with people who've said, listen, Anish, I got out, but I didn't feel safe getting out until I had gotten some key members of my team out. And you've got to start thinking of it like this. You've got to take agency. You've got to take radical ownership right now of where you're going, and you've got to move forward, okay? It is definitely better to be safe, secure, and find a way out right now when you have these options than being taken by surprise. And that is why I'm taking time out of my vacation, by the way, to make sure that you understand the priorities, okay? So, let me end with this, okay? If you know that this is action that you need to take, okay, beyond these points that we're talking about, right? Beyond greater micromanagement, job gets harder, the goalposts keep moving, right? Beyond all of the other ones, like the unexpected emotional landmines, M&A, as well as hiring someone who's at your level, okay? If you need immediate help, where you need to go is helloanish.com. I've got more training for you, and watch the masterclass I've synced up for you there. That'll teach you an end-to-end strategy for starting the process of generating high-level opportunities fast on your terms, which is exactly what will cure what ails you. Have a great day, guys. Talk soon.